World of Warcraft's Dragonflight expansion was announced recently, and the Six and I are of mixed opinions on it. Which of their changes are good, and what really missed the mark? Welcome to Alternate Image Gaming. This is another episode of Tarkov Talks. We play Tarkov while discussing something that generally isn't Tarkov. Think of it like a podcast with a chance of murders. Today, again, we're discussing the upcoming WoW expansion. We're going to discuss the best and worst parts of their announcement. Hello again, the Six.
What's up? How's everything?
Everything is pretty good. I'm going to try not to die here in Tarkov and get some loot.
Yeah. To you dying and ending the podcast soon would kind of suck for this topic.
Yeah, especially after I survived the last one talking about Elon Musk the whole way through. So that'd be rough now.
I watched that one and I definitely expected you to get somehow like assassinated in the middle of it.
Yeah, that'd have been pretty good. But anyways, we have this. We have good loot. We have the World of Warcraft Dragonflight expansion was announced, and we both had some thoughts about it.
I'm pretty excited for it personally. There's a few things that they've announced that I'm pretty hyped for. I don't know if it'll make the game like, oh my gosh, Wrath of the Lich King good again, but I'm hoping it really brings back the core players again because they're bringing back some of the core things. Like my biggest positive for this is they're bringing back real talent trees, not these stupid little like 3 things in a row talent trees that we have now.
Yeah, that definitely something people have been asking for quite a long time at this point is the real talent trees.
Yeah.
So what do you think the talent trees will actually do to the game to make it meaningful?
So my thing with talent trees has always been a little bit of I can't think of the word now that I'm trying to tell you, like a personality to your character, right? Like there's always going to be a meta build, and that's never going to change. But with talent trees, you can kind of be an off meta and still be just as good. Like there's tons of things and combinations that people don't check or don't do. For example, like Wrath of the Lich King, we used to call it Redidin. It was a or Prodidin, that was it. Was like a mix between Prot and Ret talents, and it was just amazing in PvP.
Yeah.
Like you couldn't do something like that now. And I feel like with talent trees coming back, it could be something like that again, to where you can kind of have a mix of different things. Druid used to be another one where you could have like your feral druid could be a little bit tankier and be an off tank if needed to
give the option to have that hybrid builds.
Yeah, you have a little bit more hybrid chances, which I really like the idea of. I don't know if these talent trees are going to do that, but like I'm really excited for the chance to be able to make my own build and kind of mess around with it and not have only 3 talent choices to pick from.
A little more self-expression too in how your character plays.
Yeah, most people play MMOs, at least me, to like, I want my character to be unique, at least a little bit. Like, for me right now, that's transmogs. I try and make really cool transmogs. But yeah, your build is another huge thing to make you a very unique character, and I think that's a really cool challenge, and I hope they do it right.
I could definitely see the appeal to that. What else about their announcement really kind of hyped you for the expansion?
What was the other one? We literally just talked about this, and now I'm brain farting.
I know I'd written down here borrowed power or something that you...
Oh, yeah, this is what out of all the expansions, the last probably 4 or 5 have had borrowed power. Like, between legendaries or like corruptions or the artifact weapons. As of right now, they've announced that there will be no borrowed power in Dragonflight. And I think that's going to be... I like the idea of it, but I'm also really curious how that's going to affect the player base that has only been around for the last 3 or 4 expansions and only ever had borrowed power.
For anyone who doesn't know, can you give a brief idea of what borrowed power is?
So borrowed power is... I don't know how to explain this the best. Like like right now, borrowed power is we have legendary artifacts that we can find or craft that we've made throughout the expansion. And you can use them and use their power to make yourself more powerful. Or like Covenants in Shadowlands is technically an idea of borrowed power. You side with one thing and they allow you to use some of their power. Back in BFA, it was corruption. You know, as you got corrupted gear, you borrowed the power of corruption to make yourself more powerful. Legion, it was artifact weapons. You were loaned an artifact weapon that made you super powerful, more powerful than you normally would have been in order to stop the Legion invasion.
Okay, so it's like each expansion has its own system that you lose when you move into the next.
Yeah,
the next one.
Which is actually leads me into one of my next things. Well, two of my next things. One, Blizzard in the whole has, in the last probably 3 or 4 months, done a really good job of listening to their player base and changing things based on like what the mass majority of their player base wants. Prime example is there was a mount that you get every season in Mythic Plus if you do like their achievements, and it was really dull. It was just a very plain shade of a different color of the previous one, like really close to it, and there was kind of an uproar, and people were like, "This is dumb. Why should we do this? You guys need to do something." And within like a day, I think, they completely revamped all the colors for it.
Oh, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, and normally before then, like people have already whined about it before, and nothing happened. And this time they're changing it. They've done a lot of like class tuning, more on classes that need some help. I know there's still a few that need some help, but like they're doing better about it.
Yeah.
And that's a huge one for me. And it's kind of something with doing better about it is one thing people have wanted is what's called evergreen content.
Okay, content that lasts throughout expansions.
So like all this borrowed power, for example, you lose and you don't ever get it back, and there's no point in it once that expansion is over.
Yeah.
Dragonflight is supposed to be the start of evergreen, meaning everything in Dragonflight will be carried on to the next expansions.
That'll be interesting. Kind of like how Final Fantasy 14 does a lot of their stuff.
Kinda, yeah. Like everything is still used going forward, and I think that has been a big thing. It kind of goes hand in hand with them doing what player base has asked for, because the player base in whole has asked for that forever. They're tired of getting all this cool stuff and then it's taken away and they don't get to use it ever again.
That makes sense. And so you're generally hyped, and for me, as we've talked about in the past, like I'm less hyped. I think this expansion has missed the mark on a lot of points, at least from their announcement so far. Starting even just with the intro video. It's the first big cinematic intro that I've seen from World of Warcraft that I was not immediately hyped about. Obviously, it looks good visually, but it was really boring. It didn't snatch.
It was really boring. I will definitely agree with you on that one. I had a few like for example, I know, spoilers ahead if you haven't seen it. Just saying right now, spoilers. Like one of the big things is the guy climbing up to like split the orb so the veil was gone, and then instantly the dragons were there.
Just there.
It's like
just waiting.
Like what? If you guys were already just hovering around it, why didn't how? Like no.
I didn't like how it's pretty much the Mists of Pandaria story again, where there is an island that we've never seen somehow covered in fog that despite flying all over the world we couldn't see, that for reasons is uncovered right now, and we're going to go explore another island that's full of, on a world filled with magical flying creatures. Like, no, it's silly. You did it once, it was fine, but you can't keep doing that.
Doing it once makes sense. Like, oh, there's one island that had this mysterious power that made it to where we couldn't see it. Okay, I could buy that.
I'll take it. It's a fantasy game, but to reuse that, I'm like, that's weak. And for me, the one of the biggest things that I've been wanting for the new expansion is a new class and a new race to play in the game, and they've really missed the opportunity here in introducing this class that is locked to only the new race, and the new race is locked to the only new class. So we're talking about character expression. You can't play this new type of gameplay unless you limit your race to this one type, which is a little bit weak.
I was a little disappointed with that, especially because this new class only or new race and class, I guess I should say, only has two specializations, which is a huge letdown.
For those who don't know, every class except for one has 3 specializations in World of Warcraft, and this one has well, I guess one has 4, and their last one they introduced only had 2. And this one has the opportunity. It's this powered by dragons. to easily have been a tank, a damage, a range, a healer, and they just making it 2. It just feels lazy to me. And
Yeah, it feels like they just weren't trying with that. And I'm hoping maybe they add in another spec later or something.
yeah, and maybe they could, and that'd be nice. But
It's still a little too late, and I definitely understand the kind of letdown with that because, yeah, like we haven't had a new class since Legion, and
yeah,
that's been what now, like 5 years, 6 years almost.
yeah, it's pretty. By the time the new one comes out, it'll have been 6 years. And
Yeah,
again,
and that's too long.
too little. Which brings me kind of to my last point. The thing that has me the least hyped overall about this upcoming expansion is it all feels like too little too late. The game is kind of old and tired. The engine is old and tired. The company has made good big promises many times previously, and they needed something bigger than this. They needed something crazy, exciting, and big, like new specialization for every class, new graphic engine update, something massive, and just going, well, we're going back to our roots and giving you dragons again for the 3rd time with the plot that is regurgitated from 6 years ago. And I don't know, it's not enough. They needed to do bigger, more, and better for me.
Yeah, it will be like I'm hyped because they're adding good things and they're going in the right direction. But I will say I am a little nervous because I feel like for a lot of people, this is WoW's last chance.
Yeah.
For a lot of longtime players, myself included, like if this expansion doesn't like get me rehyped for this game, where my hype has definitely fallen off for WoW, like I'm done. I'm done with WoW. Like I've been playing since beta back in like 2003. Like off and on, like I've had breaks, when I deployed in the military and
Yeah.
just took a little break. Like I've taken breaks, but for the
Been
most
playing
part,
it
I've
for
been
a
20
long time.
plus years almost.
Yeah, close to
Like
20 years of.
yeah,
Yep.
so
And
like it
that's
is old, and this expansion needs to rekindle the fire for WoW, or I'm done. I don't know where I'd go, but I'll be done with this game.
just like I am done with this scav run that I just finished here in Tarkov. For that
That was
little
good
segue.
timing.
Right, it's not bad, not bad. And yeah, it's kind of there's some positive things about the expansion coming up, but some negative, and I think they really have to just bring their A game better than they have been. My hull here, I'm gonna rate a probably a Warlords of Draenor. It's not super bad, but it's definitely lacking for
Lacking content.
lacking content.
That's sad.
As always, 6's socials will be plugged down below. Do you have
Yeah,
anything else you want to add before we end?
I will be starting, like, for people who are watching this are probably WoW related. I don't have a full set schedule yet, trying to work that out, but I will be trying to stream most every night, and I will be tanking keys for viewers. Not doing carries or anything, but I'll be tanking keys for anyone who stops by. If you need a 15 or below tanked, come hang out. We'll put a group together, and I'll tank it for you. So,
And that's twitch.tv/the6, right?
yep.
Yep.
Yep,
And again, the link will be below.
yeah,
So.
we'll be starting here probably next week. I'll be starting to do all these carries. So, by all means, come hang out, get your key tanked for you. Hopefully, in not more ways than one.
All right.
But yeah,
Well, again, like, sub, and all that stuff. If you enjoyed this and want to watch us talk about more things, gaming and not gaming related, will come up. And again, have a good day.